Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
It is the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. We got a foursome going on here. I'm CJ Baumgartner, Corey Tackman down in the lower right quadrant of the screen. And on the upper right quadrant, it's Staples-Motley Cardinal play-by-play voice Tyler Grunewald. And in the lower left quadrant, it's our guy Zeke, who also joins Tyler.
Order.
I do it in the most random order possible, Corey, because this is why you got to watch the shows on YouTube to know exactly what's happening. Zeke Fuhrman also joining on the Staples-Motley Cardinal football broadcast, and our cross-country correspondent. That's also coming up a little bit later in the program. But fellas, let's start things out because, Tyler, it's a MEA Wednesday, which means it's time for some Staples-Motley Cardinal football. And I know it's not going to be the most fun thing to talk about, but we got to talk about last Friday's game. Give us your recap on what was just a battle of two good teams throwing haymakers.
I mean, it was such a great atmosphere with almost 2,000 in attendance, wrapping the whole field around. They brought in extra bleachers. They brought in extra concessions, extra bathroom facilities, you name it. They brought in extra to try and handle all this, the massive humanity that descended onto Staples last Friday night to watch Pillager and Staples-Motley, one of the best high school football games in the regular season I've ever been in attendance for. And luckily I got to call with my guy Zeke there. It was so much fun to watch. Both teams going back and forth, scoring on big plays. Not a lot of long methodical drives, but a lot of hard-hitting action, a lot of physical play by both squads. And in the second half, Pillager figured out, hey, we don't need to throw the ball against Staples-Motley. We can just keep running it and run it down the throats of the Cardinals defense. Staples-Motley only had the ball 4 plays in the entire third quarter, one of them an interception. The other was a 3-and-out. The ball control on Pillager's side was greatly in their favor in the second half. And Staples-Motley they still had every opportunity to make the plays and to come away with the W, but just fell down short on a fourth down from the 17 as time was ticking down, and couldn't get away and couldn't get one off into the end zone to see if you had one more last shot at taking a W against Pillager. But as we talked about in the postgame, we might be seeing these two teams meet up again here in a couple weeks, and I don't know who would want to miss that one. I know that I'm not going to, for sure.
Well, it's funny. I actually, for our sister stations in Alexandria, I get to go see Holdingford tonight, and the QRF difference between Holdingford and Pillager is getting close to within that margin of error. Now, I don't think Holdingford is going to have any issues here tonight. And fortunately for the Huskers, like Pillager nipping at their heels means they're going to have to take this game seriously. It doesn't just get to be a night off. But I was interested in your perspective. What were some of the football things that were key differences, the key difference makers in the outcome of that game last week?
I think the biggest thing that I noticed was Colby Tappy kind of getting boxed in by the Pillager defense, something we really haven't seen this season at all. Eli Rutten looked strong to start as he was able to move the ball through the air against Pillager and really not have much issue. There was receivers open all over the field as Pillager was really trying to focus on stopping that run. And they did so very effectively, but the pass was definitely open. It just kind of wasn't there in the second half, as Staples-Motley didn't really have the ball and didn't really have the flow on offense that they really needed, that they had in the first half, that they didn't really have in that second half. And Pillager, it was just pound the ball up the middle. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't anything spectacular. It was just pound the ball up the middle every time. If we get 4 or 5 yards, we're right on track to get a first down. And that's really all it was to it. There wasn't a lot of flashy plays. Yeah, Cardinals had a really fun double pass play that got a 30-yard touchdown to Bo Carlson as Colby Tappy was lined up in a wildcat formation, throwing it out to his quarterback, Eli Rutten, and then Rutten throwing it into the end zone to Carlson. That was pretty spectacular and fun play we haven't seen from the Staples-Motley side of things. But there weren't a lot of those flashy plays, as I think the coaches are kind of getting ready for the playoffs to before they unleash some of those plays, because you don't want to show your whole hand in the regular season. Then, oh, I'm out of tricks for the postseason. So I think there was a lot of feeling each other out too, and to see. And I really don't mind the loss as much as you would think as a Cardinal play-by-play guy, because I think you learn a lot more in a loss than you do in a win. You really look and see what did they do effectively to take us down for that one, and you just get that extra bit of juice for that next matchup. As I know, there were a ton of Cardinal fans and players standing there and just watching after that game, watching the Pillager side cheer, and by all means, cheer, celebrate. It was a huge victory on your rival's field in a top 5 matchup. Celebrate, but remember that there are people watching, and they stayed and they watched the entire time until Pillager left, and then they watched and they saw, and they'll be ready for the next one. I promise you that.
It's like that video of Stephon Diggs with the Bills watching the Chiefs on the other end of the field, like that kind of thing of like, all right, got to lock in, got to get ready, got to see. And yeah, it's going to be a fun matchup. Likely these two teams going to play each other again. Corey, you mentioned that QRF. As we take a look at Section 6AA, Holdingford is an 82.6 QRF. They're ranked first in the state. Pillager is ranked number 2 in the state now with a 79.9 QRF. Now the Huskies are finishing the regular season tonight by taking on Park Rapids area, which is also a 3A school. And of course, as you mentioned, Holdingford playing Sauk Center tonight. So likely Holdingford going to hold on to that 1, and meaning Pillager the 2, Staples-Motley playing Pelican Rapids tonight. Likely going to hold on to the 3. Osakis also going on the road, playing in their final game of the season. They will be on the road against Melrose. So again, looking at all that stuff, Staples-Motley's got a football game tonight. They have a chance to wash that out of their mouths. They have a short week, which I think helps. When you have a loss, is like you turn right back around. You got a game. You got a chance to get things rolling against Pelican Rapids. And Tyler, what do you know about the Pelican Rapids Vikings? What's kind of the keys to victory in your talking with Coach Potter earlier in the week?
Well, Pelican Rapids is coached by Eli Beachy, a name that everybody in Staples-Motley should know very well. And Pelican Rapids is going to throw a ton of different formations at you from an offensive standpoint. Just watching 3 games worth of film, you're going to see a lot of spread out receivers, two on each side, or you might see trips on one side. You might see them tightly packed into the tight end or to the tackle, and then you might have them all bunched out away from each other. You're going to see a 5 wide receiver set with a quarterback all by himself. And quarterback Grady Larson, he's a junior for Pelican Rapids. He's very athletic. He can sling the ball all over the field, and he can actually run the ball too. So he's a very good dual threat quarterback for Pelican Rapids, and I expect to see a lot of different looks from the Vikings. I wouldn't say they're strong physically running the football between the tackles, but Staples-Motley can't exactly defend the run against big physical teams between the tackles. So it'll be a good test for the Cardinals to really put a stamp in and say, hey, we know you're not physical between the tackles. We're going to make sure that you're not. And then now let's go attack the passing game and really make you one-dimensional. And we'll see what Pelican Rapids can do to counter that attack from the defensive side of the Cardinals.
I'm just so fascinated by looking at the QRF stuff. 4 teams in the top 10 in the state in section or in 2A football. As a matter of fact, 3 of those 4 teams, because of the game I'm calling tonight, 3 of those 4 teams would be the number 1 seed in 6 AAA. That's how competitive this 6 AA is. I mean, it's just absolutely stacked. Zeke, I'm interested in your perspective from this, not only just for tonight, but for the last, looking back to last season, how this season has gone. And, Staples-Motley, the history of football, they've made national attention for their woes in the past. And to have this sort of swing over the last couple of years under Coach Potter, we've talked plenty of times how special it is, but it's, when you're able to take that 30,000-foot view and step back at it, pretty cool, right?
Yeah, for a very long time. I mean, Staples-Motley football was the butt of a lot of jokes. They went 3, maybe 4 seasons without winning a game. It was a very long time. And now, after a game, after the Barnesville game, after the Pillager game, I'm getting texts from high school buddies that I didn't even know had my number. Like, hey, the Cardinals win tonight. I wasn't able to catch the game. What was the what was the score of the football game? So since last year and the attention they got with making a run to the prep bowl, even leaking into this season, I mean, attention and school spirit is 100% back for that Cardinal football team.
It's cool. Football matters just a little differently than all the other sports in garnering people's attention. Zeke, Tyler, is there anything else we need to know about tonight's game, or just let's get tuned in and get ready to play a little football Friday night on a Wednesday?
I think I'm going to wear a jacket tonight. It'll be the first night this season I'll have to wear a jacket, maybe a stocking cap. It's going to be a little chillier. I always say once we get to MEA, then I'll start wearing a jacket. I haven't broken out the hand warmers yet because there are years where you have to have the hand warmers under your gloves, and it's awful. But we've been very blessed with the weather that we've had for high school football because it doesn't feel like high school football weather. But tonight definitely will.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the night. It's going to be good. It's definitely not going to be an overlooked game. You're going to have to come. You're going to have to play. You're going to have to execute if you're the Cardinals. And there's no room for error. If you lose this one, you're going to have to go to holding for even in the second round in all likelihood. So you cannot have any hiccups here going into Pelican Rapids. Stay tuned in. 6:40 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. Me and Zeke, we're going to have the call, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I will be wearing a sweatshirt, maybe a jacket as well. We'll see, Zeke.
I want to see which one of you two is going to be tougher. And as the broadcast goes on, like, all right, Zeke takes off the jacket, Tyler takes off the sweatshirt, and then all of a sudden you guys are just sitting there like with no shirt in the press box trying to see who's tougher. Can we make that happen?
Challenge accepted.
I have no problem being weaker and more comfortable. I have no problem in that at all. I'm old enough.
I'm going to get kicked out of that press box tonight.
Yeah, no,
I already down to my undies.
We have room. There will be room for us at the press box, so we should be all right.
Again, 98.5 FM, AM1430 KNSP, the fan, like Tyler said, 6:40 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. Tyler, appreciate the time as always, and we'll see you on Tuesday where we'll be talking first round playoff football. How does that sound?
I can't wait for it. Let's talk to you then, guys.
All right, there goes Tyler. He's the Staples-Motley Cardinal play-by-play guy. Does a great job all season long. Zeke also joining him, and it's going to be another fun one tonight between the Vikings and the Cardinals. And, of course, Coach Beachy, obviously, for Pelican Rapids, adds an interesting little wrinkle to that as well, just a fun little element that she can bring up throughout the broadcast as well. So,
before you continue on, we should actually probably mention, Eli is a Perham grad. His dad, Ryan, is a Staples-Motley grad. Ryan and Ryan, former football coach at Staples-Motley as well. You may have heard the news. Ryan had a motorcycle accident and to say he got dinged up would be an understatement. So I know there's some coordination going on in the Staples-Motley football community. Zeke, I know you've seen this too. There is some fundraising efforts that are being put into place to help out Ryan and the Beachy family. And I think it's coordinated, is it not, for tonight? Does that sound, I can't remember the specific details, Zeke, of what that is, but there is some effort in to help support the Cardinal football extended family.
Zeke might have froze on us.
I did freeze. I'm back now. Yeah, there is a Ryan Beachy fundraiser going on through staplessweatshop.com, I think is the link that I found here, where you can get a t-shirt for Ryan Beachy to kind of help support him. And it says here, 8 shattered ribs on his right side, 5 on his left side, 4 fractured vertebrae, lacerated kidney, liver, and a punctured lung is what it says, is what he got in that accident. So t-shirts are on sale, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and proceeds from sales are helping out his family with medical costs. So
awesome. Great cause. Glad to see everybody kind of come together for that, and really cool that they can do it tonight with the football game and kind of having that kind of shine a light on it as well. So moving on from football, let's talk a little cross country quickly, Zeke. You had the big write-ups of Heart of Lakes and Park Region Conference and CLC and kind of these conference cross country meets. Let's start off in our own backyard in the Park Region Conference. That was at Balmoral Golf Course in Battle Lake. Beautiful golf course to play, by the way. But they were running on it. What happened? Give us all the deets.
Yeah, looking at the boys team, I mean, the Bertha Hewitt Bears, watch out for these guys next week at Section 6A meet in Minnewaska, because these guys, they've put it all together at the exact right time. Brady Rock, section champion, finished his race in 15:49 ahead of Peter Newark, who is second place. Drew Aho, UNC, was third. And then a lot more Bears. Gunnar Bartle, Nolan Rock, Henry Lockwood finishing 4, 5, 6. Couple Wolverines coming after that. Lane Kaufman, Evan Schmidt, Talon Setterholm of OTC, then Noah Strowing finishing in 10th there. 30 points overall for Bertha Hewitt. Wadena-Deer Creek, 48 points as they finish runner-up in another meet this season. I think it's the 5th meet this season that WDC has finished in second place. They won the Swain Invite in Duluth, and now 5 meets that the Wolverines have been in second place. On the girls' side, you've got United North Central holding on barely. They eke out a victory over Wadena-Deer Creek, also finishing second place. 51 points for UNC. Macy Josephson, conference champion. Anya Aho was second place. Kendra Miller was in third place. And cool story here with Kendra. She's missed a really good chunk of the season with an injury. I talked to Kenny Miller in Perham last week, and he says it's just been an incredibly frustrating season. It's her senior year. She ran in Staples. She ran the Dragon Twilight in Moorhead, and then wasn't able to run for pretty much the rest of the year. She was injured. She did run in Perham last week, just kind of as her first race out back, and then her last conference meet, third place, all conference honors for Kendra Miller. She finishes in 1933, and she's kind of getting geared up and back in running shape for section and hopefully another state meet for Kendra Miller coming up in the first part of November there. Looking at other notes here, Carly Haverkamp of Wadena-Deer Creek finishes 4th. Nora Frost, Lee Chloe Patrick, Haley Vogt of Parker's Prairie, they finished 5, 6, 7. The Panthers, third place yesterday, 61 points. OTC was 4th with 97. Pillager in 5th place with 126. Elena Dobson finishes 10th place for the Huskies yesterday in that Park Region meet. But so, yeah, just really good meet. All these teams getting really, really good and kind of dialing it in when they need to, just ahead of sections next Thursday.
I mean, what else? Other highlights from around the region? Like CJ said, busy day running.
Yeah, 4 meets by my check yesterday. Heart Lakes Conference, CLC was in Detroit Lakes. Park Region, and then the West Central Conference with the Sauk Center boys winning that one, and then the Minnewaska area girls winning the girls side of the West Conference. Looking at the Heart of Lakes Conference, I mean, we only have a couple races left of Audrey Bunnell of Staples-Motley, and yesterday winning an unprecedented 3rd straight conference championship in 2 different conferences. She won the final mid-state race back in 2023, and now back-to-back Heart of Lakes Conference champion for Audrey as well. Perham, the Yellow Jackets, they look so good right now. I mean, I don't see anybody in Class 2A beating these guys. I don't even see anybody in Class 3A beating these guys when it comes down to where it hits the rubber. I think Pillager boys, they finished 1-3-5-6-8-9 yesterday or something like that. You had Owen Winter of DGF in second place. Jack Mitness of Park Rapids, I think, was 7th in that boys race. And on the girls' side, just as dominant yesterday. Perham finishing, let's see, Gracie Morris was 2nd. Then Juliana Scraper 5th. Tilly Matthias was 5th. Or Juliana was 4th. Tilly was 5th. Caden Breed 6th. Chayla Sweer 7th. Rory Calder 8th. Adeline Werner 9th. And so when you've got, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's your scoring 5. Then you've got 7, 8, 9. There's not much you can do about that. I mean, Perham, the boys won with 19 points yesterday, and the girls had 24. And that's unreal. It's so good.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. So Perham continues their run of dominance. Zeke, I believe CLC race happened yesterday. Any kind of notes there?
Yeah, Alexandria, they were at state last year for 2A, moving up to 3A this season. They sweep the CLC meet yesterday. Cassie Wellman of Fergus Falls, the girls' individual champion, and sophomore Connor Maleka of Detroit Lakes, the best runner that DL's had in a very long time, and only a sophomore. So I got to see this kid run at the first meet that DL hosted back in September, I think, and he just eked out Matt Jorgensen of Perham, who's the CLC, not the CLC, the Heart Lakes Conference champion, by the way. Matt won that one yesterday, and then in a sub-16 minute race. I mean, Maleka beat him way back then, so that'll be another fun one to watch potentially at state because Connor Maleka, he's the real deal for the Lakers.
I do want to ask about one name that was kind of removed from some of the results going back to that Park Region Conference, and I hope I'm not calling this kid out, and because sometimes things just don't go well. But it was interesting to not hear Grant Nelson's name anywhere near. Do we know? Like, is he okay? Is he healthy? Is he not feeling well? Have we heard anything around Grant, or is it just one of those things happen because we're in October?
Still doing some investigating there. Yeah, Grant finishes 12th yesterday overall. He was the fifth runner in for WDC, 17:38, which is way off his normal time. I've reached out to Mike. Mike sent a meet recap last night. I think 18 PRs for WDC on a very, very fast track yesterday. So we'll hope that Grant's healthy, because if Wadena is going to make that push to get to a team section championship or that runner-up section, because the top two teams go to state, and I think the top 6 individual runners not part of a section championship or runner-up team also go to state. So still a lot of possibilities for Grant to get back down and run at the U of M his senior year, but we'll check on the health of Grant Nelson, because the 17:38 yesterday, very, very uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah, we hope he's okay. If that's the case, I'll be interested to find out.
Yeah, and of course, if you listen to Wolverines Weekly every Saturday morning on KWAD at 9 o'clock, I'm going to talk with Coach Brunsberg a little bit later this afternoon. So we'll.
There you go. You do it. Yeah.
We'll
you can be the cross country correspondent for an afternoon.
I'll be the Wadena-Deer Creek correspondent for Wolverines.
There you go. The overall thing. There you go.
The overall, yeah, exactly. I have transcended cross country. That, and I don't know anything about it. So that's why you're the guy. Looking at everything now, of course, conference meets are fun, and obviously it's local bragging rights, and the hardware is fun, and the times are great. But now the real race kicks in. The section races. When are they happening, Zeke? Where are they happening? Just what do we need to know?
Yeah, they start a week from tomorrow. You've got the Section 6A Championship, which would be Staples-Motley. It's Wadena. It's Parker's Prairie. It's Bertha Hewitt. Those will be in Minnewaska area next Thursday. Section 8 2A meet, which is Fergus Falls. It's Perham. It's Detroit Lakes. Those will be in Cold Spring on Thursday. You've got the 8 3A meet, which is Alexandria. That will be run at St. Michael Albertville. I think that's next Thursday also. And then Friday, you've got the Section 8A meet, which is United North Central. It's Park Rapids, and those guys, they're running in Bagley on Friday. So a whole bunch of races on Thursday, and then a couple other ones on Friday. And of course, we'll have the full write-ups and analysis and recaps, and tell you who's going to state to run at the Roy Griak course on November 1st online, WadenaRadio.com, and SportsCow on Facebook.
Moo.
Moo.
Moo, 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 moo. Moo? Moo. All right, awesome. Zeke cutting it up with great cross-country stuff all season long, and continuing with that section meets coming up. A lot of fun storylines. We're going to have you on next week, and we'll talk about it then. Looking at the broadcast schedule as well, let's take a look at conference for Park Region Conference Volleyball, because last night, Wadena-Deer Creek clinched, Corey, not their first, not their second, not their third, Zeke, but their 4th straight Park Region Conference title, going undefeated in the conference for what I believe is like the 3rd or 4th straight year. They've just been impossible to beat in the PRC, and they get a 3-0 victory against New York Mills last night. Wadena-Deer Creek just is in they're in their game right now. It feels like everything is starting to come together exactly the way they want it to. Peyton Gravel finished with 21 kills last night.
Wow.
So that'll play. Kennedy Ness had 7. Then Jada Dykoff had 4 kills, along with 6 service aces in the match. You had Ashley Pavic with 3 kills, Tori Malik 3 kills, Celia Arenio 3 kills as well for Wadena-Deer Creek, and then a service ace for Alyssa Carr, as well as a couple for Leah Kircher. But Obviously, Wadena-Deer Creek likes to have that balanced offensive attack. They like to be able to get it to Kennedy Ness, to get it to Sealy or Rinio. They have a really good balanced scoring attack that not a lot of teams have, and that's really important. But also, you have an all-state hitter, so if you can get her the ball and get her a majority of the attacks and she can get those to land, that also is just as important, right?
21 kills in 3 sets is stupid.
Really good.
It's okay.
I saw a player had 24 kills and it took 5 sets. I mean, that's 24 and 5 is a great number. So 21 and 3 is ridiculous.
Ridiculous. And it just goes to show the player she is. And we talked a little bit about Peyton Gravel heating up in yesterday's show, so go back and listen to that. If you want to hear that wherever you get your podcasts as well as YouTube. For New York Mills, they're just a team that's really young. They only have a couple seniors on that team. They are trying to kind of build things back up. They have a new head coach this year in Harley Wurst, and just trying to build that program back up from where Coach Olson had it. And, it's one of those years where it's going to take some time, and New York Mills is going to get ready. They're going to play their first round likely on Monday in the section tournament. They're going to most likely finish as the 18 seed in that 21-team Section 6A that has no subsections this year. It's all one big section. So they are likely going to take on the 15th seed, which, as we deduced on yesterday's show, is likely going to be Underwood on Monday night, and then the winner, after that. But that's where New York Mills is sitting. But there was a cool moment for New York Mills in the match as senior Gabi Vaden, the libero for New York Mills, got her 1,000th career dig.
Yay!
Which was really cool, and it was in the third set. They took a moment to have it, and it was going to happen no matter what. Would it happen tonight? Would it happen in the first round playoff game? But to have it happen on senior night, to have it happen in front of the home crowd, is just a really, really cool moment to get to cap off a really nice career in New York Mills volleyball.
Yeah, congratulations, Gabi. Very well earned. She's been a part of some nice volleyball teams, and that program has been New York Mills volleyball is always something to be reckoned with. So to put your name in the record book like that, Gabi, it's a big deal. Good job.
Wadena-Deer Creek will compete in the Moorhead tournament over the weekend, and that'll wrap up their regular season matchup. We talked about their seeding yesterday as well, likely to get that 5th seed, likely to host War Road in that first round matchup. And then the second round matchup could be Highway 10 rivalry with Perham if the standings stay the way they are in that second round match. So a lot of fun storylines to look at, and we'll have the full breakdown coming when brackets are released. For some sections, they're already set. For most, they'll be set on Sunday because I think they let the tournaments play out and things like that. And just to help sort out some QRF discrepancies and things like that. But also the football standings and brackets will be announced, I believe, on Wednesday or Thursday, Thursday morning or maybe Friday. But for sure by Saturday, everything will be set, ready to roll. But most teams kind of know on Thursday morning what's going to happen. I remember when I played high school football, it was Thursday morning. We got done playing the Wednesday night MEA game. We all met up at the coach's house to watch film of the game before and start to watch film of that opponent because you have a quick turnaround time for that first round playoff game on Tuesday. So it was like, we're going to do our film over the weekend and then just practice on Monday. And we got the call like right away Thursday morning who we were going to go play. So that happens pretty quickly. And we got a final regular season matchup for Wadena-Deer Creek and New York Mills. Coming into this football game, New York Mills is 1-6 coming into this matchup. They got their first win of the season a week ago when they took on the Monaga Braves. And I know sometimes you could look at that and go, oh, geez, New York Mills must not be having a great season. And they'll tell you things could have gone better here and there. But let me tell you the scores of New York Mills football this season. A 1-score loss in week 1 to Belgrade Bruton El Rosa, 18-12. A 1-score loss to Otter Tail Central, 22-14. A 1-score loss to Parker's Prairie, 14-6. A 2-score loss to Frazee, 26-12. A 1-score loss to Lake Park Audubon, 20-14. And then, of course, beating Monaga 2 weeks ago, 42-20. And then taking on Breckenridge last week, and Breckenridge is the top-ranked team in 1A. They lose 65-6. There's not much you can do about that. But looking at this, Corey and Zeke, they're a 1-6 team, but they are certainly not a 1-6 team, if that also makes sense. They've been in almost every game that they've played in all season long.
All of those teams are good. Breckenridge is a standout. Their running back Erlinson is doing kind of some ridiculous things this year. I don't know what the exact number is, but he's averaging like 200 yards a game on the ground.
And he's doing it on like 6 carries a game. So.
Yeah, it's ridiculous what he's doing. But all those other teams, Parker's, OTC, Lake Park Audubon, whoever else, like those are all nice. Those are all nice teams. So yeah, New York Mills is going to be ready to play.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun matchup. New York Mills, again, kind of locked in to that playoff positioning. If you want to look at the Section 6A standings, which of course features the Breckenridge Cowboys. It also features in that top spot for the Cowboys, the 63.6 QRF, Parker's Prairie right below them at 54, Walker Hackensack Akeley at 45.5, Otter Tail Central 41.4, Lake Park Audubon 29.9, Nevis 24.9, Pine River Bacchus 20.4, New York Mills 15.1. Likely New York Mills is going to stay in that spot. Pine River Bacchus is 3-5, and looking at their final matchup for the Tigers, it's a forfeits. They got that win for their third win against Cass Lake Bena, who forfeited their season. So
they will not get QRF points for that, though.
That is true.
So their QRF is as far as I understand anyway, you get the forfeit, you get the win, but you don't get the QRF credit for it. So that does make it interesting, a little more interesting anyway.
That's true. And Wadena-Deer Creek being a 2A school who they play tonight, theoretically, if New York Mills gets the victory, they're going to get close, and we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's fascinating to see how this QRF stuff will shake out for the Eagles. Because right now, basically everybody's like, let's not go to Breckenridge week 1. Let's avoid that matchup at all costs in the first round of the playoffs. Let's take our chances with the Parker's Prairie, with Walker Hackensack Akeley, who both are good teams as well. But Breckenridge is, they've been doing pretty good so far this season. Looking at the Wadena-Deer Creek Wolverines, they're 2-5 coming into this matchup, 1-0 in Section 6AA play, 1-5 in their conference play, 2-1 on the road, 0-4 on the home field. They have one last matchup tonight against New York Mills. Wadena-Deer Creek trying to get their third win of the season, and looking at their playoff position in 6AA, we talk about how top-heavy that loaded section is. And for 6AA, for everybody involved, Wadena-Deer Creek likely sitting in that position here of 6th out of 7 teams, which would mean Holdingford gets the first round bye. Monaga would go to Pillager, and then Wadena-Deer Creek, who's locked into that 6th spot, would likely go to Staples-Motley if they hold that 3 seed. So that would be kind of how things would shake out in that first round of playoff action for Wadena-Deer Creek. Win or lose, it kind of feels like that's inevitable because they're unlikely to catch Royalton in that 6A standings, who have a 30.8 QRF. Wadena-Deer Creek right now at 18.3. So that's kind of where things are at for all of this. We have tonight on 101.7 FM, AM920 KWAD, and online at wadenaradio.com/KWAD. 6:40 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff between the Wolverines and the Eagles. We'll see how this one shakes out. Should be a fun one. It's always good when these two teams play in the Highway 10 rivalry. It's one where, joking with Wadena-Deer Creek head football coach Kyle Petermeyer, he kind of said, it's great. The conference opponent, kids know each other. They like to play against each other. He's like, but it can't be a rivalry because they've had our number the last few years. He's like, we got to catch them if we want to really make it a true rivalry. So it'll be fun to see. Obviously, first-year head coach for New York Mills and Coach Zach Hawking got his first career win a couple weeks ago. And they pretty much are doing the mainstays of that New York Mills Eagles football. They're ground and pound. They're grind you to dust. They're doing a lot of that same stuff, and we'll see how that kind of progresses tonight. Guys, anything else to add on this final week of football across central Minnesota before playoffs?
Yeah, I have one more thing that's worth mentioning here a little bit, especially since we're talking so much about QRF, is I'm looking up the formula for the QRF and how things are calculated and worked out. And one of the things that is noted in the QRF formula is the margin of victory or defeat is not part of the equation. So when we go back, especially looking at this 6AA and what Holdingford has tonight, playing a 3A school, what Pillager has tonight, playing a 3A school, Staples-Motley has tonight, playing a AA school. Like, what's more important here is the size of the school than just beating the brakes off of somebody. So that will be, it's a win or a loss situation, really. Is the margin of victory, the margin of defeat is not factored in to the QRF formula, which will obviously, in the sections that we're covering, make an impact.
Right. Exactly. There's a lot of stuff going on. Zeke, anything else across the region you're keeping your eye on?
I'm keeping an eye on Corey's game tonight. Holdingford and Sauk Center doing some looking at the Holdingford team here, kind of maybe getting ready for a game against Holdingford in a potential section championship. Not looking past Pillager, but just kind of looking ahead of what could be on the horizon for 6A football or 6-2A football being represented as a state. I mean, have fun watching this kid tonight, Corey, because he's being recruited as a D2 tight end. He's being recruited as a D3 quarterback. I mean, he had he's putting up some crazy numbers this year too. So give us a good scouting report on that guy.
I mean, I'll do what I can. I'm an idiot. So.
He throw a ball good.
Yeah. Him catch touchdown.
Football. You got to use really kind of scouty words, like he's a grinder.
Yeah. Scouty or scatabooey.
Scatabooey is, there's a untapped piece of drywall. Could I just hit that with the crown of my head?
Here's a crayon. I should eat it.
He's got a motor. I tell you what, the motor on this kid.
He can tote the rock, as they say. One matchup I'm looking for, because I'm a homer, is Bertha Hewitt versus Mille Lacs. Has a lot of implication for seeding in that section 5 in 5, 4, one of the two.
5
in section 5. The top 4 is still kind of in flux. Cromwell has 1 loss on the season. That was to Mille Lacs. Mille Lacs just lost to Ogilvie, so they are 6-1. Bertha Hewitt has 1 loss on the season to Cromwell. So the transitive property kind of cancels all of them out. Bertha Hewitt is playing Mille Lacs tonight in Bertha Hewitt, and if the Bertha Hewitt wins that game, there's a potential they could be the 1 seed in the section. If they lose, they could be the 3. And for Sabika, I know they're playing Ogilvie tonight. That's another game to keep an eye on, because if Sabika wins, they would put themselves in position to host a home playoff game, which is something that I know, talking with coach or activities director John Lilquist, talking with some other members of the Sabika staff. They are very excited about the possibility to get to host a home playoff game. 1, because you get to do that, and 2, you don't have to travel 2 hours on a Tuesday night with school the next day. So that also is important. But for Bertha Hewitt, they have a chance. Basically, kind of the goal for Bertha Hewitt is avoid having to go on the road in that second round playoff game. With a win tonight, they will guarantee themselves a top 2 seed in the section. There's a chance, likely with a win, they would be the 2, but still, you would get to host that second round playoff game on Saturday afternoon in Bertha instead of having to go to Cromwell or having to go to Isle or Onamia or things like that. So a lot of implications in that section, which is what makes it really fun.
3 teams in the top 10 in that section also. I mean, we're just loaded with great football here in central Minnesota this year.
Great football and great cross country, man.
Great football, great cross country. By the way, volleyball, a lot of fun stuff happening with Corey's game yesterday, Monday night between Parker's Prairie and Henning. That section's going to be fun to watch. Obviously, Wadena-Deer Creek hitting their form at the postseason. And Section 5A, don't mean to get too homerish, but Bertha Hewitt got a 5-set victory over Sabika last night. You have Sabika, which is always a class team in Section 5A. Pine River Bacchus is there. Swanville is there. Nevis is there. Bertha Hewitt trying to kind of rebound after some injuries and see if they can get ready come playoff time. Here we go. Playoffs are coming, and they are going to be a blast.
I have 2 things to add on to this. One is, first of all, no one thinks you're being homerish by talking about Bertha Hewitt. It's okay. We're talking about all the area teams.
I mean, I don't talk about Staples-Motley as much as he's talking about Bertha Hewitt.
You don't have to check yourself. You're just fine. Secondly, that's a huge win. That's a huge win in that section. And for that conference.
It won't impact seeding, but as much as just kind of lets you know that that's another team that is in the mix.
Yeah. It's the most wonderful time. I love it. I love it.
As an aside, I heard somebody this morning as I was at the store, their phone rang and it was playing Christmas music. It was playing like Sleigh Ride, like bump, bump, bum, bump, bum. I'm like, no.
They're right.
Yes. Like their phone was ringing and playing Christmas music.
Were they 90?
I don't know. That person needed to be checked into an asylum is all I know.
Do you remember when you could change your outgoing ring when people would call you? They would hear a certain song when they called you. And then obviously you could download like NFL on Fox as your ringtone that everybody else would hear.
What your ringtone was used to be a huge deal.
A huge deal. And now it's like if my phone rings even once, I'm throwing it into the lake.
Right.
Yeah.
If somebody's phone rings, they're over 40 years old. Like, that's how it's like, oh,
Don't want to hear it.
the ringer on my phone hasn't been used since I was in high school.
I don't know what my ringtone is right now. I don't think I've ever used it.
No, it just vibrates because it's always in my pocket. So I'm going to know when it goes off.
I know mine is just like a ring, 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 because I wanted it to be the most basic, like, that's it. I just don't, am I going to have Usher be my ringtone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be that Adam Sandler ringtone he used where it's just him going rang, rang in that Adam Sandler voice.
Oh, no.
Find like a text message alert that was Adam Sandler's, hey, goat. It'd be all right.
Yeah. My brother is a job where he works that he's on call. So he has his ringtone on just in case he's sleeping and the phone will wake him up.
Fair. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah,
but
legit.
also it was great because you could mess with him when you knew he was on call. So you just call him. So he'd hear his phone ring and he'd be like, oh, do I got to go into work? And then he'd answer the phone and be like, don't call me.
Woke me up.
Right. And so he changed the ringtone to when it's like one of us. So he'll answer the phone and be like, oh, I thought I was going to get you, like thinking that you had to go in. He's like, I changed the ringtone because you ruined it. So
Fun ruiner.
So he has a certain ringtone if it's work calling him and a certain one if it's just us, which is lame. He's lame. All right, fellas, that's going to do it. Before we get out of here, though, Corey, Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena, what do we need to know?
Well, we've talked about it a couple times this week, but it's especially worth talking about it again because it's Wednesday. Double Point Wednesdays are back at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade through December 31st. Not just the end of the month, but the end of the year. Every Wednesday, FunZone Rewards members can earn double points in all online and in-store FunZone purchases up to $100. Of course, if you're following along the Morning Sports Desk on YouTube, there's the code right there. Give it a scan and become a FunZone Rewards member right now. The best way to do it, though, is to stop into the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade, scan the code, get in on it, make it happen. Double Point Wednesdays today and every Wednesday through 2025.
By the way, MEA weekend coming around, kids at the house, it'd just be a good time maybe to bring them to the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena just to blow off a little steam.
Let them
and
loose.
then you get pizza.
Pizza. Anybody want to guess if I have leftover Pizza Ranch in the fridge for lunch today?
I would guess it's pretty high, but also I would think maybe you just got too tempted and later before you like went to bed last night, you're like, I can sneak another slice.
No, I didn't do that. First of all, how dare you? Secondly,
Pizza Ranch is so good. I can't help myself.
It doesn't last.
I got wings and pizza in the fridge waiting for me as soon as we are done here. So wrap it up.
Yeah, so you better get there before I do.
All right, we're out of here. See you.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.